Okay, we are in the 2019 Land Rover Discovery Sport. It's a 2019 and it's 50 grand base model. It comes with a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 2 liter, producing 286 horsepower, which actually feels quite punchy. So power's not bad. It's not a fast car by any means, but power's not bad. But it's rather underwhelming, I would say. I've been driving it for maybe 20 minutes and feel like I got a pretty good grip on what this whole car is about. The best part about it, I think I would say, is the exterior. I quite like the exterior styling, but obviously that's pretty subjective. But the problems start once you get in the car. You open the door and the interior is not super awesome. It's a lot of hard plastics, and the touch and finish of things, well, the fit isn't bad, but it's not really super nice materials to touch. A lot of plastics, not super rewarding, especially when you compare to something like the Macan. Where the Macan just feels so much nicer. All the buttons a lot nicer to touch and use. This car is over 5,000 pounds, which is crazy. I don't know why it's so heavy, but it's about 1,000 pounds heavier than the Cayenne Turbo, which is kind of outrageous. And I think it does hide its weight quite well, but I think that's a real problem with this car because the handling is quite awful. Has so much body roll. I don't know if you can see if I just do a little, but oh dear lord, it's rocking and rolling like a bowl of jelly here. So that doesn't make the driving experience all that confident inspiring. I'm going around a little turn here, and in the Cayenne I can pretty much rock this corner with no body roll, and this thing I feel like it's right on the edge here. Whoa, it's so rolly. And so, you know, that Cayenne was built 10 years ago and it handles way better than this. The Macan that I had last week feels way better than this. So let's break it down. Engine, okay, quite punchy, fine. It's absolutely serviceable. We're not drag racing these cars anyway. You only need enough speed to feel comfortable on the highway, merging in lanes and stuff like that. So fine, no problem. Interior, pretty bog standard, pretty uninspiring, uninteresting. I found the buttons and layout to be somewhat confusing. I'm not sure if that's just because I'm not used to it, or they just look like the buttons are in random positions. But it definitely took me a little while to figure things out. Okay, steering, very vague, rather nondescript, and altogether uninteresting. Brakes, squishy, very squishy pedal. The return of the pedal, it doesn't come up, so you depress the brakes and then the pedal doesn't want to come back up, so that isn't very reassuring. What else we have? Oh, suspension. Ride is very harsh. I'm pretty sure this is on springs. I haven't driven an SUV on springs in a while, so it's a nice reminder how compliant and how soft and smooth the air suspension really is. So the Macan, which did have the air suspension, had an excellent ride compared to this, and the Cayenne is phenomenal. You kind of get the best of both worlds. Porsche do a great job with the PDCC, so that you have that soft ride when you're on bumps and things, but then if you're in a corner, the hydraulic system flans out the car, so you always feel super stable going around corners, whereas this doesn't have that. As I said before, super roly-poly, and yeah, not great. So yeah, suspension, it's okay, but definitely not doesn't give you that feeling like you're riding on the magic carpet like the Porsches do. Also, this windscreen has that front defrost system in there, so it looks like you're looking through a netting which I don't enjoy. I really do notice it, and I couldn't live with a car with this windscreen. It would just annoy me. What else? So did brakes, engine, ride, interior space. It's okay, I guess. You know, it's about the same as a Macan. So it's a smaller SUV. So it's got decent space, but so this car is 50 grand. The Macan, base Macan, this is a base Land Rover, 50 grand. Base Macan is 60. And every day of the week I'm spending that extra 10 grand and getting the Macan. There's no way. The Macan gives you much better ride, much better interior. I think it's a better looking car, even though I said this one's okay. Much better looking car. The Porsche drives so much better. The sound system is freaking awful in this thing, and that Bose system in the Macan, I'm sure you could upgrade this, but the Bose system in the Macan that comes with the Sport Edition pack is actually really, really good. So pretty much everything about the Macan is better, and by a significant margin, and you're only paying 10 grand more. Now, end of the day, 60 grand for that car is still a lot of money, but if you're a person who's going to spend 50 grand on this, then I think you can probably find another 10 to get a Porsche and have a much happier life in general. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Maybe we'll see what Punch thinks. But yeah, that's a 2019 quick review of the Land Rover Discovery. Nice to drive cars like this, and a nice reminder of why you have what you have and why you drive what you drive. Here we are with Punch in the 2019 Land Rover Discovery, that's right.
Right.
We've driven it for about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, pretty disappointed actually. I mean, for a brand new car, all you just told me the price, and that's ridiculous.
50 G's.
50 grand. What you pay for. It's pretty funny because I would never have thought to check anything like this, but now that I'm looking, it's like the Macan comparison to this is night and day. There's a lot of plastic parts, not much in the design. You know, a very sort of straight up design. Yeah. Sound system's not good at all.
Really
at
bad.
all. And if you want to enjoy music, I don't think it made such a difference, but it really does. And the engine, 230 horses of nothing really. Well, yeah, for an extra 10 grand to get a Macan,
Seems like a no-brainer.
no brainer. I would, yeah, you definitely stretch yourself for that, you know, or get something way less, you know.
Yeah, you can go both ways about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, if you don't want a Porsche, then you can get something way less. And the funny thing is that he's an XC with big grills. X1. Funny thing is, the gear transmission is not even close to a PDK. Not even close.
Yeah, that's something I didn't even mention. It's so true though, because the
Yeah.
PDK is like lightning fast, and it's still the best in the industry, despite being, you know, since 2010 they put them in, so it's like 9 years old now. It's still amazing.
And it was kind of fun actually to drive with it.
Yeah.
You know? It would.
Even though that's not a quick car either,
No.
but it's so much more fun to bang through those gears than this car.
Yeah, and it doesn't even. Well, the Macan felt like you're in a car. This kind of feels like you're up high. It rolls a lot. Doesn't feel stable. So
Yeah, because we always said that Macan felt like just a bigger GTI, but it still feels like a car. Whereas this feels like an SUV, like tall, like rolly.
yeah, and so there's no pleasure at all in driving it. So if you like to drive, it's definitely not the car to get. Even the infotainment and all that is smaller, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't find all these buttons to be completely easy to understand like what each one was
Yeah, they're all
doing.
pictures and
And
stuff.
the
so-
and the touch is like, it's not super responsive. Like it's very
Oh, wow.
slow and kind of clunky. For 2019, you expect so much more.
Yeah.
At these days, you know, when your phones are just like boom, you hit it and then boom, instant response.
Right.
You expect the same from any infotainment.
Right, I don't know what those pictures mean. That's funny.
Did you see these like lines in the glass?
Oh, I see them now.
I have trouble with those because it feels like I'm looking through netting, and I don't like that at all because it's for the front
Oh.
defrost.
Oh, like sensors and all that.
Well, I think it's like, you know how rear defrost?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
they
then-
actually do it for the front.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was actually the dash. Ah, interesting. Man, so there's no check the ice out. There's no connection to the steering wheel and the car. Wow. Now, I mean, why would they charge that much though? Is my question. Just for the name, I mean, they should do better than engineering, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta at least appreciate the brand enough to. Well, honestly, the seats too look like seat covers. Did you see?
Yeah, these seats, I didn't mention that either. I don't find these seats to be comfortable at all. I think they're really stiff, but they're not stiff in any of the right places
No.
where you want a seat to be stiff.
Yeah.
They're actually really hard in those bits where you want them to be comfortable. And then the bits where you might want them to be stiff, like on the bolsters, they don't even exist. Like there aren't really any bolsters here, it's just flat. And then here there's a bolster, but it's like really far away for someone like me, which
Yeah.
I find a lot in general,
And-
but
I'm gonna try and move the seat, but it feels like you're just high on a bench.
yeah, high on a bench. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Oh man, I never used to pay attention to stuff like that, but it would be interesting having it every day, how you would feel, you know? Dealing with it every day. Roly. Wow. Yeah, the base gray thing is not cool. Base gray ceiling.
So if you compared like the base Land Rover Discovery to like the base Macan, like the interior of the Macan is just so much nicer.
Yeah.
Even though at the time it didn't feel that nice, like when
Right.
you think about what a turbo offers you with all like the leather and everything, it just looks amazing in there. But compared to this, a base Macan I'll take every day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this would be at least half the price. Half the price. Man. Even the throttle. It was funny. There's not much to it, huh?
Not really.
Not much to it.
So, good piece of consumer advice here. If you have 50 G's to spend on a mid-size luxury SUV, spend an extra 10 and get a Macan. Or spend way less and
Spend 20 less.
spend
and
20
get
less and get an old X.
Hyundai Tucson.
Okay, yeah, and get a Hyundai
Hyundai
Tucson.
Tucson, I think, would be a much better car, man.
Yeah, you're basically getting exactly the same but paying a lot less money for it.
Yeah. I keep going to the gears. It's great. Let me see how this works.
Didn't that press of the button just fill you so much confidence?
Yes. Nope.
Nope. Out of 10?
This one?
Yeah.
I've never given out of 10, but let me think.
I gave the Macan, me and Quentin both gave the Macan a solid 6.
Right, I was gonna say 4 for this one.
Yeah, I'd probably go like 3.5.
3, yeah. 4.
I mean, when you're factoring in like the price to
Right.
what you get, it's definitely 3.
And what brand this is, you know?
Yeah, because you expect a little more.
Yeah. You should lose a little money making this car. You know, at least. Anyway. Alright.
All right, that's it.
Peace.